actually, our master of ceremonies, the leader of Mandomania, the esteemed Tony Williamson.
Okay, we'll save it for the second call.
I grew up in a really wonderful setting. Because my parents, when I was young, worked so many hours at their factories, I spent a lot of time with my aunt and uncle on their farm. They never left the 19th century. They plowed with mules. The cow gave the milk. I spent so much time there. And for me, it was like your bare feet in that mud with, you know, the ducks and chickens coming up to you and eating that food and the smells. And you know, music was part of that too. You know, my brother and I and my cousin would play music in the evening after all the work was done. This is how I grew up. My dad and his friends played music, and they were all factory workers. So on Friday nights, all his friends would come to the house and gather, and they would make music. My brother and I were just little guys, so to keep us quiet, they would stick an instrument in our hand. When he realized his sons had particular talent, he worked very hard to give us opportunity. Naturally, since our heroes had bands, we wanted to have a band. So we started playing music with some other local musicians. And when we hit the Fiddlers Convention circuit, we started getting blue ribbons and trophies. And in Union Grove, we won the first place and the first place mandolin. When I graduated from Carolina, I was sort of looking for something when this guy named Lonnie Pierce called. He had a band called the Bluegrass Alliance. He said, "You want to come play mandolin with us?" So I told my mom I would put off grad school for a year. And so I left in my Carmen Ghia and drove up to Louisville, Kentucky, and I'm still taking that year off. I entered a world of endless travel, late night jam sessions. I was getting paid to put on a polyester suit and sing Fox on the Run every night. There was something missing about my life. There was something completely unfocused and ungrounded. And I needed to get back here. I needed to get right back here for a reset and get my bare feet into some Rocky River mud. So I moved back to Chatham County, North Carolina, within 15 miles of where I was born and raised, and bought this little farm. I became a builder of log cabins, a feller of trees. I lived a primitive lifestyle. And I wound up having a series of accidents. Yeah. I fell off a ladder and there was a piece of old metal sticking up and I cut my hand. And that was pretty tragic for me. And I had an accident while flint knapping. It's the art of making tools from stone. And that's when I tore some tendons. Guess what? I had a gig that night. And about halfway through the gig, my arms just stopped. I mean, it was an incredible amount of pain, and everything just went numb. I had no motion whatsoever. A surgeon in Chapel Hill told me that if I were you, I would forget about ever playing music again. We can do some surgery and repair, and you'll be able to go back to your farm chores. But the fine motor coordination that it explained to me that you need to be able to play music is just not going to happen. And so I just blew on out of there. I didn't go back. So for the next few years, I stopped the flint knapping because it was just so painful. But I continued to try to play music, and I would mask the pain with drugs and alcohol and somehow make it on stage. And right around the year 2000, I was in a recording session and an old friend of mine came by, one of my college buddies. He saw that I was in a lot of pain, and at the end of the recording session, he gave me a number and he said, "You need to call this number." It took me a while, but I finally called the number. So who do you think it was? You think it might have been a minister, a rehab program, a physical therapist? It was none of that. It was this little Chinese lady. And she invited me to come by. She was a holistic healer and just a beautiful person. And in such an amazing, non-judgmental way, she slowly started showing me ways that I could heal myself. And she never said, you know, "You're overweight, you're stubborn," you know, that kind of thing. It was like, "Yeah, let's work with you and let's get you back to playing music." There's an old saying, the older the violin, the sweeter the music, and that's not just a saying, that's really true. Wood is alive. Even after the tree is cut, the wood is still alive. It's a breathing, living thing, in my opinion, and the combination of wood and air creates this sound, and the more it's played, the more resonance it gets. And so a 100-year-old mandolin has a resonance that a new one just can't have. So that's why I've devoted a lot of my life to the preservation of these old instruments, and Mandolin Central is really essential for that. Music is not about competition, music is about harmony, and mentoring is a lot of what I do. So when I go out into the world and a young person comes up to me and asks me a question about music, I want to share whatever I have.
The way that he communicates with me and is able to tell a story and is able to teach me through the music, it is something I've never experienced with anyone else. I'm a law student and I want to be a trial lawyer, and so every time I'm practicing for a trial, I am able to take what I've learned from him, using those techniques of being able to put emotion into something while staying completely in control. I'm able to put that into my legal arguments as well. So Tony's influence is far-ranging, not just with music, but with every aspect of my life.
When I play music and people are listening, I'm giving of my soul. I'm giving something that's very deep with me. And when my audience starts to feel that, they start giving me back this sense of appreciation, and I can feel it coming off of them. And then when I get that from them, that reverberates my involvement in this feedback loop. And I send out this huge amount of love and this history in my family, and the music, it's all in the music and the notes, and the audience likes it, and that feedback loop gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then by the end of the concert, I mean, it's just wonderful. So that's why I go out and I play music. And that's also why I come back home to my cabin in between times.
Can't wait for days.
Can't wait for days.
I'm headed south.
I'm headed south.
I'm going to stay. See those green fields of Carolina. Take me back.